Big Baby Miller has weighed in at 317 pounds ahead of his showdown tomorrow night against Polish veteran Tomasz Adamek. Adamek weighed in at 227. Now, this is Jarrell Miller's career heaviest, 317 pounds. He weighed 304 against Duopa, 283 against Wack, 298 against Washington. I mean, he's been hovering around the 300-pound mark for several fights, and now he's come in 317, which is enormous. I mean, he is not a short man, Jarrell Miller, sorry. He's 6'4", so he's a tall man. But even at 6'4", 317 pounds is enormous. And the guy, what is Jarrell Miller eating? What is this guy actually eating in training camp? I've got no idea, because he can't be eating a normal diet. A normal athlete's, he can't be. Because the guy's got good cardio. He can go rounds at a good clip. We've seen it. So if he's doing them rounds in the ring in real fights, then he's doing them rounds in the gym. So he's in good cardiovascular condition. So to be packing as much fat, obviously there's a lot of muscle there too, but there's a hell of a lot of fat. To be packing on that much fat, God only knows what this guy's eating. God only knows. And we're all expecting Adamek to get eaten here by Jarrell Miller. Let's be real. We're expecting Adamek to end up in Jarrell Miller's stomach by the end of this fight. Miller been calling out everybody, as we know. He's looking to get a shot at the WBA regular title. It's important that he puts on a good display here to get fans behind him, because he's going to need fan support in order to get the big fights in the heavyweight division, because I've long said that I think Jarrell Miller is better than people realize he is. I'm not happy about this weight. Keeps on climbing up in weight, you know. I'm not happy about that. But the ability the man has, I think, is underrated. Now, he has been criticized, including by people like Dylan White, for not punching his weight. And I've said before that if he actually lost weight, it might increase his punching power, because he'd be able to articulate his hips and rotate into shots better if he was a bit lighter. I know that sounds counterintuitive. You would think, what, the heavier the harder you're going to punch. No, because when you go past a certain weight, you're going to lose so much mobility that you won't be able to get the leverage into the punches that you were getting into them when you were lighter. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, you're not going to be able to maneuver your body weight around as effectively and as dramatically if you're heavier, at least past a certain point. You know, being heavier might improve your punching power up into a certain point. But once you pass that point, it can then become detrimental and work to actually decrease your punching power. And I think Miller has passed that point. Miller also has a high work rate because he throws a lot of arm punches. If he decides to load up on shots and go for quality over quantity, I think Miller's probably a tremendous puncher. But he elects to go for quantity over quality because that's part of his style, wearing people down, staying consistent. If he was going for real power shots and loading up, it might backfire on him. He wouldn't be as consistent, and then he'd just be a big lumbering target, which opponents could open up on and hit him with a lot of stuff. So, yeah, it's a situation where I think Miller has made a strategic decision to be a volume puncher rather than a power puncher. With that being said, even them volume shots, you don't want to get hit with too many of them. They will discourage you. And just his ring presence discourages fighters because nobody can push him back. He's a behemoth. He even uses that terminology himself. He's a flipping behemoth. So, yeah, let's see what he can do here with Tomasz Adamek. I'm not expecting Adamek to put up much resistance. Let me just look at what Adamek's been up to lately. All right, he beat Joey Abel earlier this year, Fred Cassie last year, Solomon Homano last year. So, you know, not done much since being sparked out by Eric Molina back in 2016. But he hasn't been totally inactive, so I guess that's something. Yeah. One thing I will say, though, I nearly forgot to say, is with regards to Miller's punching power, if you train for power, that power is going to manifest in the ring. Miller doesn't train for power. He trains for volume. So his power, I think, is there. Like if he really planted his feet and tried to load up on a shot, it would be there, but it would be easy to see coming. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because he doesn't train for power. When you train for power, like a Gennady Golovkin or an Adonis Stevenson, you hit the bag and you hit the pads with tremendous force. You're always thinking about, how can I hit this bag as hard as possible, but in such a way that there's no tell on the punch. So you spend hours and hours and hours learning how to get more leverage into your Sunday punch, but at the same time doing it in such a way with such a technique that it doesn't telegraph the punch. This is what a lot of the premier punchers in boxing work on day in, day out. On how to punch extremely hard, on how to get more and more rotation into the hips, more efficiency of movement, less wind up, but maximum effect. When you see Golovkin on the pads, a lot of the time he's throwing power shots, like really hard shots. He's not pity-patting on the pads, throwing fast, flashy combinations. No, most of the time Golovkin is planting his feet and he's throwing bombs. That's the way he trains. So when he gets in the ring, it's muscle memory. Guy throws a certain shot at him, bang. He counters with a power shot because that's how he trains. You understand? With Miller, if he really sat down on his punches, I'm sure he could punch extremely hard. But I don't think his power punching is as refined because he doesn't train that way. He doesn't train to punch with maximum force every time he hits. You see? So you'd probably be able to see when he's loading up to throw with full power. Anyway, let me know what you guys feel in the comment section below about this Jarrell Miller versus Tomasz Adamek fight. Maybe some of you might think that Adamek could make Miller look a little silly here because Adamek is such a small guy. And in his heyday, Adamek always had good legs. He could move around the ring. I mean, if you think back to the Chris Arreola fight, for example, he ran rings around Chris Arreola. Could he do a similar thing here? He's given away nearly 100 pounds in weight, Adamek. Incredible, isn't it? Adamek is 90 pounds lighter than Jarrell Miller. Crazy. So with Miller being so morbidly overweight, could a washed up Tomasz Adamek make him look silly for a few rounds? You know, we'll see. Drop your comments in the comment section below. Let me know how you feel. It's happening. I'm out. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.